When your father is a charismatic pastor and your mother is televangelist Marilyn Hickey, you're no stranger to the Holy Spirit. Sarah Bowling is an author and a respected Bible teacher who says we can experience the Holy Spirit every single day of our lives. Welcome to the Harvest Show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay,
My
I think it was about 2 years that your mom joined us here on the show. I know that your father has passed away. He's with the Lord today, but just let's get a check on your mom. How is mom?
She's great. You know, she's continuing to travel and minister and
still,
stays quite perky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was that like growing up in a home with a charismatic pastor and your mother is Marilyn Hickey?
Sure. You know, I learned the Bible in good, deep roots, experienced the Holy Spirit, and grew up sleeping under pews, you know, all-night prayer meetings, and so it was good. So, you know, I kind of thought, I know the Holy Spirit. I got this thing scooped, because, you know, that's my background. But I started to study John chapters 14, 15, and 16.
Oh, I love John. I love those chapters.
And then suddenly I had this, like, epiphany. You don't know the Holy Spirit. You think the Holy Spirit's all about just Pentecost and Acts chapter 2 and on, but you have no clue who the Holy Spirit is. So I took about 3 to 5 years with some in-depth study for those chapters, and it just took my breath away. I was like, oh, no way. And then I was like, oh my goodness, there's more to this than what I've just thought growing up. So rich, super rich.
At the top of the show, he said, Stephen said that, you know, knowing the Holy Spirit is not passed down. It's not a second-hand relationship.
No.
So, I mean, was there a time, was that a journey for you, kind of not disconnecting from what you had learned, but just going on your own journey?
Sure. My own walk with Jesus was definitely a journey on my own. You know, I was like, hey, and I grew up with good underpinnings, of course. But in my early 20s, I said, I don't know about this stuff. So I started to look at different kinds of religions, and I thought, I want to know this for me. I can't just live it on somebody's offspring kind of thing. So the Holy Spirit helped me in that time and really connected. Read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and that really like captured my heart. So from there I was like, okay, good. But the Holy Spirit stuff, I was like, it's a little shady, you know. So in my mid-20s, had a really strong experience with the Holy Spirit and said yes to walking into the ministry, because I certainly didn't want to do any of that. Saw that growing up, not interested. But mid-20s, I had a really strong experience with the Holy Spirit. And I was always tender in my heart towards the Holy Spirit. But I said yes. And then early 40s, then I started studying John chapters 14, 15, 16. And that was the real epiphany. The light went on for me. I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to communicate this. The Holy Spirit put this message in my heart, almost as a life message.
So what was it that kind of really just took your breath away, or had you step back and you know, had that moment where the light bulb went on, and all of a sudden you're seeing things that you didn't see before?
Sure. So I was studying John chapters 14, 15, and 16, going very slowly through those chapters, doing Wednesday night Bible studies with our church at home. And I came to verse 16, where Jesus says, I will ask the Father, and he will send you another helper to be with you forever. You know, I've read this stuff ad nauseum growing up, but I started to really dig into it in the Greek, and then the following verse, and then as I started teaching all through those chapters, I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, everything that I saw with Pentecost and all that, the Holy Spirit, Jesus gave an introduction. So when all that Pentecost stuff happened, they didn't freak out, which normally you'd freak out. People jabbering with the tongue, you know,
fire
freaky weirdo stuff, blowing fire, all this weird expression. But they didn't freak out because Jesus had coached them and trained them and introduced them. And then he breathed on them, John 20, 25, receive the Holy Spirit. They had 50 days of training before the Holy Spirit was ever poured out in that demonstrative way. So they had this introduction. And for me, I think I had the cart before the horse. I had demonstrations.
You were looking at the demonstration.
Yeah, but I didn't have this coaching training ahead of time. And so now I feel like really compelled, a divine mandate to help everybody connect and say, wait a second, the Holy Spirit is available in a very daily present help, heavenly help every single day. And so this is divine mandate to connect people to the Holy Spirit in meaningful, deep, intimate relationship, and very supernatural, but also very common and practical.
So you wrote Heavenly Help so that other people will know him in a very practical way. At the top of the show, I told Steph, and I remember calling on the Holy Spirit while I was taking a test, asking, you know, the Lord to bring back to me. I mean, that's, you know, that's one way he can help us, but there are so many ways in which he wants to be a constant person in our lives, isn't it?
Sure. And so like a couple weeks ago, I was snowboarding, had a big crash, did a backflip, landed on my head.
Wow.
Got a huge concussion, and I kind of cleared my thoughts and asked for help because nobody was around me. There was no ski patrol, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm bleeding and all this stuff, and I'm asking for help. I need help. I need help to get myself together. I need help to get myself down the mountain. I mean, that's help. That's holy help, heavenly help right there. Really practical. And I got down the mountain, you know, and things were working out. But that's supernatural help right there in the moment.
Well, we're going to talk more about this supernatural help. We're talking with Sarah Bowling. She's the author of Heavenly Help, when Harvest continues in just a moment.